Okay, everybody, it's good to see you. Today we're visiting the Bear Creek Cemetery. It's an abandoned cemetery. The land's owned by the county. I went ahead and got a hold of the farmer that owns the land around it and got permission from him to be out here just in case, I don't want to get shot. We're about 100 yards off of Route 66, about 400 or 500 yards off of I-44, just between the Stoutland exit and the Sleeper exit. I have driven past this cemetery the better part of my life. It is still in Laclede County. I took a trip up the hill through the woods to see if maybe there were some more stones up, more headstones, more memorials up the hill. I'm not finding anything. It's so badly overgrown here that it's really hard to find anything. I was walking through the actual cemetery and tripped over headstones that you couldn't see. Not trying to be macabre or anything along them lines. People nowadays need to remember the past. There's a weird pile of old bottles and jars here. I'd say probably from looks like maybe the 70s. What is that? I'm not a treasure hunter by no means. Not today anyway. Ham's Beer. Oh wow, check that out. Ooh, maybe a little older than I thought. That's an old pop topper right there. Old Ham's Beer. I'm gonna take that back to Papa Floof. I bet he'll get a kick out of that. Contains 12 fluid ounces. Might be able to find a date on this. Mattress bed springs. Just all kinds of weird stuff. Sorry about the unintentional close-ups, but we're kind of out in the open now. I mean, it's really hard to spot. There's only a couple of headstones that are newer. It's really weird when you crouch down to look at a very worn headstone and you look out across the cemetery. You see divots in the ground where the old coffins have rotted away and collapsed. It's a very serene place. Very, very serene place. There's just random headstones sticking up out of the ground, and if you were actually on the ground and you could see what I'm seeing, there's random field stones out here, and they're intermixed amongst the tombstones, so you really kind of have to touch everything just to make sure it is what you think it is. I mean, you could tell at one time this was a very well maintained cemetery. It's like I said, it's called the Bear Creek Cemetery. It's also called the Cox Burns Cemetery, COXBURNS. But like I said, nobody's been buried out here. I think the newest grave is from 1910. The newest one that I've been able to find is from 1910. But this is what I wanted to come out here and talk to y'all about. It's very sad. It's a very, very sad thing. 1818 to 1885. That's an old one. But anyway, this is what I wanted to talk to y'all about. I'll give you a quick sneaky peek. I'm gonna go to the other side so I can get y'all out of the sun. Maybe you can see a little bit better. And like I said, this is very sad. But something that not a lot of people understand. Can y'all see? Can y'all see all of these stones? And somebody has laid flowers on them. There's 11 of them total. So back in the 1800s, all the way up into the 1900s, it was common practice for families to not name their infants. All of these graves that I just pointed out to you guys, they're all infants. They were born and died, but they were all from the same family. And I can't find mom and dad. They don't seem to be in this cemetery, well, that I can find. But it was common practice back then to not name your kids until they were 3 or 4 years old. And through some of the research that I've found, there's another one over there. Through some of the research that I've done, and I have found, it's because infant mortality rates were so high back then that they tried not to get attached to the kid till they knew the child was going to thrive. That's today's society. That is unreal. I can't fathom what these parents went through. The dangerfloof here is a father. I'm a proud father of 4. I have amazing kids, and I could not imagine losing one of them. That would be, I don't know. I can't imagine that. But to go through life, and 11 kids. I mean, 1 would be excruciating. 11, I don't know how people do this. I'm gonna flip y'all around, and I'm gonna show you this one. I don't have a lot of time. It's getting dark. I'm losing light fast, but it's just something I think everybody ought to know about. So hang tight. I will flip the camera around, and I will show you one of the grave markers. Like I said, there's 11 of them from the same family. All right, hang tight, guys. All right, guys, this is one of the headstones. Infant baby Thomas, born and died November 25th, 1906. It says of Joe, and I'm pretty sure that's pronounced Clemma, but I can't find them in this cemetery. I'm gonna do some more research and try to find out where they're at. And they very well could be buried here, and their stones are gone. I think the 10th one was twins. It doesn't say anything on the marker that would indicate that, but I think it was a set of twins, because it's right here in this patch. And like I said, I could be completely wrong, but there's guaranteed 10, but I believe there's 11. And the other stone is there. Like I said, it's a very sad and somber place. Let me rephrase that. It's not a sad place. It's a very somber place. I think with a little bit of work, somebody could bring this cemetery back to what these folks deserve. Like I said, there's not many stones here, but for somebody who is a fan of history, like the old dangerfloof here, there's a lot of knowledge right here. This area is full of history that's been forgotten, which I'm sure most of rural America is that way. Time just forgets it, and I think that we should, as a whole, try to remember these folks. There's one of the nicer stones here. There's 3 people buried here. John M. Archer, his wife, MJ Archer. I'm thinking it's Mary. I'm not 100% sure. And an unnamed infant son. Or, yeah, unnamed infant son. Beautiful stone. All right, guys, I wanted to give y'all one last look. There's 66. When I started the video, I was way up there in them woods. But from the road, you can only see a couple of stones, and there's about 40 in there. Anyway, I'll give you one look at the old sign. Anyway, if I don't get out of here, it's gonna get dark on me, folks. Y'all have a good one.